Welcome back, guys, to another edition of Ray's Sports News / Debates. Okay, today our topic is the state of the NBA playoffs and all 8 NBA series, which I'm going to cover over at least a little bit in every series. Okay, most series have gone at least 2 games. There has one series that has gone 3 games, and I will talk about that and all the players involved going forward. But let's get into it immediately. Okay, we have series number 1. Okay, the series that has gone 3 games already and sadly is going to end tomorrow night. And that is Philly and Toronto. We got the number 4 seed Philly going to Toronto for game 4. And this series is over, guys. There's not really much to talk about here. Toronto, I love Fred VanVleet. Great player. They just don't have enough. They don't have a player that can stop Joel Embiid. They really don't have a player that can stop James Harden. And James Harden really isn't playing that well, but he's playing decent enough for Philly to win. And he's not costing them games. You know, Joel Embiid is top 10 in the playoffs in scoring right now, top 5 in rebounds. James Harden is second in assists right now. And fortunately, the series is ending. Game 4. I got Philly sweeping them. Toronto's a good team. Don't get anything like backwards. Toronto's a great team. They just win against a team that they just can't beat. And that's the sad part about half of these series is that if you reseed them and you put this team against this team, maybe they have a chance. Toronto has no chance against Philly. No chance. I want to say Toronto wins this game for pride, but I don't think they do. I think they get swept. That's series number 1. Okay, series number 2, one of my more surprising series has got to be Boston and Brooklyn. Boston, the number 2 seed in the East, against Brooklyn, the number 7 seed in the East as well. Boston has dominated Brooklyn in a way I didn't think was possible. KD has shot the ball like complete garbage the first 2 games of this series. I can't tell you the last time I saw Durant go 4 of 17 from the field. As efficient as he is, 4 of 17 from the field. And yeah, he went to the free throw line 20 times, and he made 18 of those. But, you know, you take that away, he's 4 of 17, 9 points, you know, a couple of rebounds, couple of assists, but Boston has just shut him down in a way I did not think you could shut Kevin Durant down. Kyrie's been okay when he's not, you know, flipping fans and other sports people off, you know, after, you know, getting his behind kicked by Boston. But I have to give props where props is due. I have to tip my hat to the Boston front office and head coach, because the amount that this team cares about defense and shutting people down is second to none. I think they got the best defense in the league. When you could shut down 2 essentially top 10 NBA players, and they can barely break 100 points. I mean, they held Kevin Durant to less than 25% shooting from the field. 25%. Kevin Durant couldn't even get 25%. He got less than 25% from the field. I got Boston in 5 or 6. I mean, Brooklyn's going to win a game. I think they'll win a game, maybe 2. But, I mean, with how good Boston is playing right now and how good Jason Tatum has been, and, you know, they got the Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart, as well. I got Boston in 5 or 6. Brooklyn, I want to go with Brooklyn, but from what I've seen through 2 games, from what I've seen from Kevin Durant in 2 games, and who knows, Kevin Durant might turn around. He might turn around, you know, Steve Nash might come up with the game plan to better suit Kevin Durant and Kyrie in the offense. But so far, I got to go Boston 5 or 6. Okay. Series number 3, this series I think is over as well, even though it's only gone 2 games. We got the Miami Heat, the number 1 seed in the East, going up against the Atlanta Hawks, the number 8 seed in the East. I got Miami in 4, maybe 5. I can't tell you another team that has held Trae Young to these stats: 8 points, 1 of 12 shooting from the field, and less than 10% shooting. Like, what other team could tell you that? What other team could tell you that they held Trae Young to 8 points? They held Trae Young to 1 basket, which is a nonchalant layup at the end of the game when the game was already over. You know, he was 0 for 11 before he made his first basket, which tells you the amount of fun Trae Young had. And Trae Young came back. He played better the second game, you know, and his other piece came through as well. But without Clint Capella to kind of help them in the rebounding department, I mean, Ben Adebayo is having a field day. Jimmy Buckets went off for 45 last night. And anytime Jimmy Buckets goes off for 45, odds are Miami's winning. Like I said, I got Miami in 4, maybe 5, maybe somehow Trae Young drops 55 and they barely win. But yeah, I got Miami in 4 or 5. Okay. Series, okay, number 4. I'm still on the fence about, even though I'm pretty confident I know who's going to win this series. We got Golden State, okay, the number 3 seed in the West, going up against Denver, the number 6 seed in the West. I got Golden State in 6, maybe 5. I think Jokic is too good to be swept. I think they'll salvage a game. But the injury bug has just plagued Denver this year. And I just think with all the weapons that they're missing, Jokic is going to have to throw together like a 40-point triple-double. 40 points, 15 rebounds, probably 13, 14 assists. And maybe they squeak out a game or 2 against Golden State. I mean, look at Golden State's, you know, this is just 5 members of the roster. You got Jordan Poole, who's number 5 in the playoffs in scoring. You got not Golden State. You got Steph Curry. You got Klay Thompson. You got Draymond Green. You got Andrew Wiggins. You know, like, I mean, that's a pretty bad, you know, 5, you know, right there. I think Golden State's super deep this year. So I got Golden State in 5. I'm going to go 5. My heart wants to say 6, but Golden State in 5. One of the more interesting series I'm really excited to talk about, Memphis against Minnesota. Okay, we got the Memphis Grizzlies, who are the shock of the NBA world this year. Not because they weren't going to make the playoffs, but it's how high they finished in the West. Okay, Memphis is the number 2 seed behind Phoenix, and you have Minnesota, who won their first play-in game in the play-in tournament and secured that number 7 seed. And Minnesota went to Memphis, and they punched Memphis in the mouth. I did not see Minnesota winning game 1. But Anthony Edwards, he's turned it into a bona fide stud. He dropped 37 game 1. You got Karl Anthony Towns on that team. And realistically, besides John Morant and Jonas, who's leading the playoffs in scoring right now, and Joe's 3rd in assists in the playoffs, this, I think, could go 7. I could see it going 7. I think Minnesota is very underrated, and just because Memphis has had this great of a year, I think they're overlooking Minnesota, because a lot of analysts and a lot of people that I watch on TV, and I agree with them, when Memphis walks onto the court, they think they're the baddest bunch of dudes on the court. And you got to have that mentality. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that mentality. But I think this could go 7. I still have Memphis in 7. I think John Morant is too talented to lose this first round series. And he really hasn't, you know, he's been scoring okay, but he hasn't really had that like breakout playoff game so far. And I'm still waiting for that to kind of put my footnote on the series. But I got Memphis in 7. I think they trade games. I think it goes 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. And then, you know, I got Memphis winning game 7 in Memphis. Another series I think is over, and it's funny because the series is tied 1-1. We got the number 5 Utah Jazz and the number 4 seed in the West, Dallas Mavericks. Now, Stephen A. Smith went off yesterday, and me and Stephen A., we don't really see eye to eye on some topics. Some we do, some we don't. But I could not help but agree with what he said about Utah. Utah is an absolutely disappointing franchise. Yeah, they make the playoffs every year, but like they beat Dallas by 6 without Luka. They lost to Dallas by 6 without Luka because they allowed some guy, and I'm not saying it's a no name, but some guy dropped 41 points. Keep in mind, Dallas scored 110 points, and this boy had 41 of them. And they lost to Dallas without Luka. And early reports from yesterday's practice, today's practice, Luka's on track to come back for Game 3. And Luka comes back, Utah's not winning. I don't see Utah winning another game this series. I think Dallas wins in 5, especially if Luka plays Game 3. This series is over. Maybe 6. But if I'm Donovan Mitchell and they lose this playoff series, I'm packing my bags. I'm leaving Utah. I'm asking for a trade immediately. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm getting out of Utah. There's no reason Utah should lose to this Dallas team without Luka. Now, with Luka, different story. Okay? But Utah needed to win both of these games in Dallas. They needed to put the pressure on Luka to when he does come back. But hey, you got to win 4 out of 5 against us. Now he only has to win 3 out of 5 to beat you. Luka can do that. He has to go 3-2 in the next 5 games to beat you. You have to go. This series is over. I got Dallas. I think Luka comes back, and I think Luka Doncic is gonna just ball on these mofos. And that sucks because Donovan Mitchell is number 1 in the postseason in scoring right now. You got Rudy Gobert, who's 3rd in the league in rebounds right now. But it's not enough. They're not beating Dallas. Okay, now we're going to the 2 series that I think have the most hype going into the next 5 games of this series. First one we're going to talk about Chicago, and the Milwaukee Bucks. The number 6 seed, Chicago Bulls, at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, I think the biggest drama in this series is that Chris Middleton did get hurt last night. Game 2. Okay, he had a sprained MCL. Now the past 2 seasons. Just to throw a couple little numbers at you. The past 2 seasons, the Bucks are 86-34, which is a .7171 percentage when Holiday, Giannis, and Chris Middleton are on the same court at the same time. So that just tells you when all 3 of them are on the court how really unstoppable they are. And just shows how much Chris Middleton is going to mean to this team. Because Chris Middleton, he's the shot taker. You need somebody to take that shot. I love Giannis. Giannis is not that guy. Giannis is a guy that can get you 30 throughout the game. And now Holiday's going to have to take that shot. I think. Maybe Giannis surprised me and he, but I'd get the ball to Holiday. But with the sprained MCL, he's getting an MRI today. So it's really the severity of how damaged his left knee is. I think he's missing at least a game, maybe 2, depending on how bad it is. And without Chris Middleton really hasn't done a lot. But you take Chris Middleton out, you can have a more defensive-like strategy to shut down Giannis. Because Giannis is without Middleton, it's bad enough. But if you could take Giannis and you could take him out of the game, you double him, you make... I want Brook Lopez to beat me. I think Brook Lopez is a solid role player. I want Brook Lopez to beat me. I don't want Giannis to beat me. I want Brook Lopez and, Holiday to beat me. Now, Milwaukee has already lost Bobby Portis, which was a great role player for them. Had probably his best season coming into the league so far. He's hurt. Chris Middleton is hurt. I think the series has turned. Now, Lonzo has been practicing, and I think the earliest he would come back, if he came back, would probably be Game 7 or Game 6. But I think the Bulls got a shot now. I really do. DeMar DeRozan dropped 41 last night. Okay, you have Nikola Burčić. Sorry if I butchered his name, but he's fourth in the postseason in rebounding. You got DeMar DeRozan, who's fourth in the playoffs in scoring. You got Zach LaVine, who's putting up solid numbers night in and night out. I think Chicago has a great shot to win this series, depending on how long Chris Middleton is out. I think this is it's a flip coin series. I could definitely see Chicago winning now, especially with Middleton being hurt, because that's going to put the pressure on Middleton if he does come back this series to be like, oh, I got to step up. We're down 3-1. We're down 3-2. I got to go off, and maybe Chris Middleton will rise to that occasion. But right now, off of 2 games with the injuries Milwaukee has suffered, I gotta go Chicago. I think Chicago wins this series in 7. I think it's gonna be the best series by far out of any first round matchup. I got Chicago in 7. I think they're gonna pull off the upset round 1. And who knows? Maybe Milwaukee will prove me wrong, but I got Chicago. And the last series we'll talk about is Phoenix against the Pelicans. They're going back to New Orleans for Game 3. Okay, and a report just came out today from ESPN. Devin Booker does have a grade 1 hamstring strain, which means he's out a minimum of 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Okay, which probably means he's missing the rest of this series. He might come back due to pride. I think Phoenix needs to hold off on him since he is going to be the franchise going forward. But Phoenix is 8-6 this year without Devin Booker. Keep in mind they lost 14 games this season, half of which they didn't have Booker, which is probably the reason why they lost. But that's beside the point. But they're 8-6 without him. I think Phoenix can beat the Pelicans without Booker. I think they're going to have to grind out some games for sure. Because keep in mind, the Pelicans do have CJ McCollum. They do have Brandon Ingram. Okay? And they have a good enough roster to where they can compete with Phoenix now that Booker is out. And he got hurt game 2. But I mean, the Pelicans, I think, have a great shot too. And depending on how long they kind of stretch this series out a little bit with days off and everything, he's definitely missing the next 3 games for sure. I think Phoenix goes 2-1. I think they split in New Orleans. Phoenix probably wins game 3, and New Orleans probably wins game 4. Then I got Phoenix winning game 5 at home. Game 6 is going to be the deterring point because that would be a little over a week into Booker's comeback. And it says 2 to 3 weeks. I think they're going to err on the side of caution right now. But if I had to pick a team right now, I got to say Phoenix in 6 due to the Booker injury. If they didn't have him, I'd probably say 6 either way, but I think Phoenix is going to win the series in 6 with or without Booker. Maybe it goes to 7. Maybe the Pelicans show a little bit of fight like they did game 2. But just a recap of all series, okay, going not in order. I got Boston winning in 5 over Brooklyn. I got Philly getting the sweep on Toronto. I have, like I said, Phoenix in 6 or 7 over the Pelicans. I got the Bulls in 7 against the Bucks. I got Miami in 4 against the Hawks. Golden State 5 against Denver. I got Dallas 6. I know I said 5, but I'm going to go Dallas 6 against Utah. And then I have Memphis going on in 7 against Minnesota. Once again, guys, go ahead, hit the like on the video. Okay, share this to your friends. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Guys, your support means so much to me. I really do appreciate it, guys. Until next time, you guys have a great day, all right?